उन्होंने किया मैं बस पूछ रहा था शिकायत आएगा अरे यार क्या ऐसे दो हम लोग सामने से गिरे यार बता रहे ये नहीं माना जल्दी देखिए ये क्या है आधा से मैं वापस आ गई पूरा बड़ा हो गया है ये एक्चुअली क्यों हिलता है क्योंकि इसको लटका के रखा है उधर काल में कोई देखता नहीं है वही मैं देखा वो सृष्टि भी वो श्रुति इसे क्या करना है यार आज अपना दोबारा एक मैच में क्या वैसे भी सुन अरे हाँ ओए एक मैच में बहुत गंदी एक काम करना एक मैच सुन और इंग्लिश में इंग्लिश में मेरे को इतना है नाम लीजिए आगे रखें सामने की है यार ऐसे कैसे लोग एक चल रहे हैं एक बेंच पे एक ही बैठना है नाम बैठ ही तब बैठ नाम से नहीं बोला नाम
Leave this table for me. I said last time also, no? Please have a seat. What are we planning to do today? Two on a bench. Shift. What are we planning to do today? Notice writing? Take out your grammar book. We will do notice writing, children. You are aware about the format? Who can come and write the format on the blackboard? Who is feeling confident? Ritu Sakar? If you take somebody else's name, I'll call you. You are allowed to take your own name. If you are confident, say yes, ma'am, I'm confident I can come out and write. Open notice writing in your module. So how will a typical question on notice writing look? Notice writing is page number 33. A notice is an official mode of announcement. The function of a notice is to publicize or present information to a particular group of people. Notices are normally intended to be fixed on specific display boards, like you must have seen in the lobby of your building, like you must have seen at the entrance of your coaching. Notice board है, उसपे कुछ लिखा हुआ है information. Okay, Monday onwards you have to wear the mask. It's a notice, yeah. Whether in school or in public places, notices published by the government appear in newspapers and other public means of communication. Write only the most significant points, provide the important details, add in additional information if the detail is pertinent. So this is not an informal, how are you, hope you're doing fine, is that, no. Be precise and grammatically correct. They should be in passive voice as far as possible. Point to be noted. In the passive voice as far as possible. The notice should be presented within a box. A box is important. Underline passive voice, underline box. Because teachers are looking for these errors to cut marks. You have underlined passive voice, you have underlined box. Standard abbreviations can be used. Check that the 5 W's are included. Avoid abbreviations actually. What is going to happen? That is the event, where it will take place, when it will take place, that is a date and a time, who can apply or is eligible for it, whom to contact or apply to, that is the issuing authority. Any doubts? Bifurcation of marks, creative title. So you have to have a title, underline the word title, it carries 1 mark out of the 5 marks. Name of the event is 1 mark, date and time is half of mark each, venue is 1 mark, that is smaller place or larger place, and content of the notice itself carries 1 mark.
What does it mean by smaller place?
The detail of the place. Like if it's the auditorium of which school, like that. So smaller place also you have covered, the larger place also you have covered, like that. You have to cover both. You just can't say auditorium and not mention kaun sa auditorium, like that. Email and notice writing generally come as a combined question. By now you know that. So we'll also do the 2 topics in a combined fashion. So when writing an official email, the following points should be noted. Use a formal tone or style. You cannot get informal at all. Convey the message in clear and simple language. And email is no excuse for shoddy expressions, short forms, or SMS vocabulary and spelling. Avoid short forms such as LOL, ROFL, or SMS vocabulary and spelling like you are great. So no such thing can be used. I think you're clear about all this. Follow the conventional rules of punctuation. Use capital letters carefully. In general, writing a word all in capital letters is considered rude. You know, जिसको हम बोलते हैं caps, उसमें लिखना is, you're not to do that. Come. All communication must follow the standard norms of etiquette. Follow the rules of netiquette. Netiquette means etiquette over the net. It's an email, so it's net. Netiquette is a term used to indicate internet etiquette, courtesy, and consideration for others using shared services, mailing lists, and so on. Now, bifurcation of marks. The subject, जो हम letter में भी लिखते थे, subject, वो वाला subject. Dear sir, opening line, closing line, yours faithfully. कोई लोग समझते हैं कि email में yours faithfully नहीं लिखना है. Get it very clearly कि लिखना है. It carries marks. And body and content and expression is 2 marks. It is recommended that both the notice and email parts should be dealt as one unit. As the theme is common to both, it is only the target audience that is different. That is, the notice is for pupils of the school, whereas the email is meant for the principal of the neighboring school. You generally send her an invitation to come as a judge for the event or whatever. Yeah, you are aware. So specimen for email and notice writing. Please go through this along with the marks that are given. See if you want to ask me something. Write today's date on top. Yes, Vita.
Ma'am, in the school, ma'am, for the English language started this notation email, ma'am, the format here is different and the given by teacher is different.
So in school you follow what teacher has given. The one which matches your school, you follow that. Go through the solved examples because I'll make you do one notice and email right now. So go through the format, have clarity. In my absence, any other English teacher had come in?
Yes, ma'am.
Robo ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
What did she teach?
Concept
And Bangle Center.
Yes.
Yes, Vita.
I just looked at this exercise and it says that in not more than 50 words.
Yes.
So our school has not given us a strict limit as to how much to choose from. So if it is within 50 words, like around 40 words or 35 words, so is it fine or above?
It should be 55 words because this is the minimum limit. This is the board pattern.
When it's specified by not more than 50 words, then I think I 50 words.
55 words. Have you gone through the solved examples? Are you having any difficulty? Can we start doing the first practice question?
Yes.
Please start. We will take the second practice question as homework. Better, no? You'll have a reference. Better to write the question also, children, because then you will have a reference when you're going through this book before your exams. Children, it becomes almost grammatically incorrect to write either 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. You have to either write 12 a.m. will become 12 midnight or no. With 12, you do not write a.m. p.m. So better to make it 12:30. So it becomes correct. Huh? Children, generally in the scheme of events that you are writing, one particular girl's highlight very much. This is looking very, very neat. Apart from what the matter is, the layout, if you understand what I'm saying. So she's written a title, then she's left a line, then she's written some 2 lines, then left a line, then written date and time, then left a date, then left a line, time, then left a line. So this presentation is looking very nice. So all of you can follow that. Definitely, if you want to write the title and leave a line, those of you are writing it all one after the other. After writing the title, we want to leave a line and then we want to start. Yeah? There will be many times you'll be doing it again. No problem. Next time you can better it. It's okay. That is why hands-on karna bahut zaruri hai. You have to get down to doing it. That's why I asked you to say, like one or very so that it is like a day or two years. Year 2022 for vacancy. No, see, here you are giving an invitation to an agent principal you almost already know. It's not like it's an unknown thing. When you write to the editor of a newspaper, you don't know whether it's a sir or madam. Here you know. Show it up. No, I know everybody will say that. See, either you write this one is small or you write what is bigger. Not even if you should write email in the box. Email in the box? No, notice is in the box. Email is not in the box. You will not write neighboring school at 123gmail.com. You will write the name of a school. What they mean is कि कोई पड़ोसी तुम्हारा school. But email will not say neighboring school. Email will say the name of a school. You can write anything. You can write happy school, excellent school. All that is okay. You don't have to write Ryan and Bakar. that practice is very good because for the exam you have clarity. This is what I want to follow. Yeah. मुझे ऐसे लग रहा है ना email notice first time email क्या? What is an inauguration? An inauguration is when you're starting something. If I am starting an ice cream shop and today is the first day of my shop, then I will invite you. I will say today is the inauguration of my shop. So please come and honor. So if you're the chief guest, then you will come and cut the red ribbon. That is inauguration. Or in schools generally they don't cut red ribbons. They light the lamp. You know, इतना बड़ा सा एक समय होता है और उसको जलाते हैं. उसके आले दाले रंगोली करते हैं flowers का. That is inauguration. After this, should we do MOV or daffodils? I know, I was so sure you will say MOV. How come? MOV से भाग रहे हो क्या?
No, ma'am.
Act 3, Scene 1.
हाँ, ma'am.
So, daffodils is not MOV.
No, I'm tired of MOV.
Tired of MOV?
No, ma'am.
But when you have your exams coming up now, उसमें MOV भी होगा.
अब हमारा हो गया काम खत्म हो गया
Act 3 Scene 1 बहुत easy है. It opens with Salarino and Salino talking to each other. What they are talking to each other? They are saying that Antonio's ships have wrecked. Put your pencils down. I've started. Put your pencils down.
Just 1 minute.
अभी email is open बेटा. Then don't forget to put the bottom of the notice. Sequence that you have with keywords, children, don't finish it off in 2 sentences.
सेल्फ मोटिवेशन अच्छा ही
And I think you have better clarity on writing an email and a notice for your exam. Now, as you are imploring me to do daffodils and not MOV, I think I'll end up doing both though. Daffodils. So this poet, William Wordsworth, once upon a time when he was a young man, along with his sister, he was roaming on the hills of, he says, in UK. And he happened to see a lake, and the boundary of the lake was surrounded with yellow daffodils. Daffodils are flowers which are so delicate. If you blow on it, the petals kind of come off. It almost shines like golden.
some chapters are
Yes.
Both the chapters done by Logan ma'am are deleted syllabus. So go through the poem in your mind one time. Underline the words that you find difficult. Who doesn't have a book there? Shoot. Quickly go through the poem and underline 2-3 words that you don't understand. Who doesn't have a book there? चार बुक्स लानी है इंग्लिश के लिए एमओवी टेक्स्ट बुक बोथ द मॉड्यूल्स So first paragraph, which word have you underlined? Any word that you don't know the meaning of? Vales, wheels, valleys. Word fluttering. The bird's wings flutter. That is the exact meaning of fluttering. But he is saying this for the daffodils. So they must be quivering. Quivering. Swaying from side to side. Fluttering. Moving with the breeze. What's your name? Shiza, do it in the textbook right now because that is exactly what we are going to do after 5 minutes. Any other word? Jocund is jolly, happy, cheerful, pleasant mood. OFT, often. Have you written OFT often? Pensive mood is a reflective mood when you're thinking of the days gone by. You're in a flashback mood. It's a pensive mood. Solitude all alone. And solitude means alone and being sad about things. Yes, beta?
What is frankly?
Which word? Gaze. Gaze. G-A-Z-E. Yay, happy.
What is brightly?
Brightly. Sprightly. Lively. Happy. Vibrant. Exuberant. Full of life. Finish with the word meanings. Take out your volume. Page number 131. Write today's date on top. Start writing the word meanings. In English, any chapter, any poem, if you know the meanings of all the words, then the data is very clear to you. So first I like to attack that. Once that is done, then we will start dissecting the poem.
Wandering and roaming.
ऐसे कैसे होता है यार? So nobody found my textbook in their bag. But textbooks are not big. Yeah, that's not a problem. But it has years of material written there. इससे छोटी कंसाइन अभी I'm going to call you out. Read the words and the meanings. Floats we write wandering aimlessly. Glides without any cares. Because you see it's a poem. तो एक word का बहुत interpretation है. And to that it's a classic poem. Over. On top of. Swaying. Bay is a water body. It's like a large lake. हमने ज्योग्राफी में किया था ऑक्सबो किया था ना गल्फ फॉर्म होता है फिर तो बे हो जाता है. So it's like a large water body, large lake.
For 10,000 meters.
For 10,000 we say it's an exaggerated number because he didn't count them, no? What he means to say, what he wants to portray to his reader, that there were so many. That's why he says in the never-ending stretch of lines. Hyperbole it is. Word meanings are on 3 pages, so hurry up. Glance, quick look. Tossing मतलब swaying.
A crowd of what do you a crowd of?
A group. So why don't you quickly take 2 minutes and finish writing everything that you know, and then I will read out everything that I've written. So whatever you did not know, you can keep writing it down. Because otherwise, like this, it's taking too much time. Perform better. Inward eye is images formed in the mind. Avi, come out and start reading what all you are written. Couch? Sofa. Yeah. He's saying when I lie down on my couch and remember the daffodils.
I thought it will also have another meaning.
क्या करूं? खत्म करो, बाहर आओ, रीड करो. Performed better.
It can be empty, right?
Children, I just said instead of going on asking me, quickly finish whatever you know. What you don't know, you just leave it. Avi is going to read what all he has written. सब खत्म करके आओ. लास्ट बेंच पे बैठ जा. मैंने बोला ना मेरे को पूछना बंद कर दो, जो जो आता है वो सब लिखते जाओ. हैप्पीनेस. ऋतु, जितना खुद को आता है उतना लिख लो, बाकी हम लोग फिर डिस्कस कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर. ऑल कम आउट. रीड.
Wandered, roamed, floats gliding aimlessly.
What? Gliding.
Gliding aimlessly. Over Wales Valley, a crowd, a host, a group, fluttering, moving side to side.
Swaying.
Bay, a type of water body, 10,000, exaggerated number, glance, quick look, tossing, swaying, sprightly, lively. Outdid, performed better, sparkling, glimmering,
Shining.
glee, happiness, gay, happy, jocund, joyful, often, couch, sofa, vacant, empty, pensive, flashback, inward eye, images in the mind, bliss, blessed, solitude, all alone.
Bliss is satisfied pleasure. Delighted, yes. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of the bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. So basically, he is writing the poem as an old man. He visited the daffodils as a young boy. Along with his sister, he was just roaming aimlessly on a hill, on a valley, open ground, and he saw a bay which was lined with daffodils. And they were so beautiful. And at that time, he didn't realize that he is experiencing something extraordinary. But when he retired, all alone, sitting in his log cabin somewhere, he remembered that sight. And it brought such pleasure to him that his loneliness was taken away. It took his depression away and put him in a happy mood. So the message, and I will ask you to write this in your notebook after I finish, so listen carefully. So the message that the poet wants to give his reader is that in life, when you are experiencing things which you think are ordinary, later in life you can come to realize that they were very extraordinary experiences. So live life with this awareness that you are experiencing sometimes something that can be a great relief to you in a later date. It may be time spent with your family, it may be time spent in looking at nature, it may be time spent in doing something that you are passionate about, which you may not be able to do at a certain age. Then you reflect back on that and you feel a sense of satisfaction. I'm glad I did it. Okay? So this is the message of the poem. नहीं समरी नहीं मैसेज समरी कैसे लिखोगे पोएम में भी एक्सप्लेनेशन बात की बेटा ये जस्ट स्टार्टेड Raise your hand and let me know when you're done.
Always remunerating, right? Like thinking back to it.
Retrospecting.
So there is remunerating or remunerating something like that.
Very scientific rather than done, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we start dissecting the poem. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Who is the I over here? So it's an autobiographical approach. He's narrating his own incident. He wandered lonely as a cloud. He's comparing himself to a cloud who's feeling very light, who's very aimless, who's not tensed or anxious about anything, just goes in any direction that the wind takes him. So carefree attitude is what he begins with. That floats on high over vales and hills. Floats. Give me an example of something, an object that floats. A leaf,
People.
a paper, something whose function is to float, whose job is to shift, boat. So he's comparing. When all at once, that means he's taken by surprise. He had not expected what he saw. I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. A crowd, a host, meaning there were so many. And why does he call them a host? Because he means to say that just like a host would entertain the guest, it is as if I have come there and I am in their company, and they, the daffodils, want to do everything for me to feel comfortable and nice. Therefore, hosts, they are hosting me. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, this line solves the function of creating an image in the reader's mind. You know, you are starting to get images now. Fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Who is fluttering and dancing in the breeze? The daffodils. They are swaying. Continuous as the stars that shine. These days, you people see very few stars. When this poem was written 100 years ago, there were many more stars in the sky. and twinkle on the Milky Way. What is Milky Way?
Yeah, it's the power.
They stretched in never-ending line. Who's the they? So again, you are getting an image of daffodils, which are so many. Along the margin of a bay. What is a margin?
My end.
The edge, the border. 10,000 saw I at a glance. मतलब एक दफे देखने से भी 10,000 दिख रहे हैं. He has not really counted, but he wants you to understand that there were so many. Tossing their heads in sprightly dance, as if they are dancing to entertain the poet. Almost the reader feels, I also want to go and visit this place. He's enticing you. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves indeed. So not only were the daffodils dancing, the bay had waves which were also dancing. But of the two dances, the daffodils were better. Outdid means they performed better than the dancing waves. A poet could not but be gay. The poet, a person who is of this kind of a mindset, shairi likhne wala, kavita likhne wala, will be very happy in such a place. But to be gay means has to be gay, has to be very happy. In such a joking company, jolly, cheerful. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. At that time, the poet did not come to know that this is something extraordinary that I am experiencing, that in my old age also I will remember this. And Wordsworth has done this very often. In 6th standard, you have done a poem, The Solitary Reaper. There also he says that he is passing through a valley and there is this lady who's harvesting her field and she's singing a song and I don't know the language. Will anyone tell me what she sings? Maybe she fought with her husband, or maybe her husband has gone to war, maybe her husband is dead. Whatever she's singing about has a sad tone to it. And then he says, now that I am remembering that, that song has still remained in my heart. I can still hear it. So again and again, Wordsworth has done this. He has lived his life in UK. He has been very close to nature. He has observed it in a special way. And he has lived his life not knowing that this is something extraordinary and special. But as an old man, those memories have come back to him in such an emotional way that he has ended up writing poetries which have become classics. Daffodil has seen generations. Solitary Reaper. Wordsworth writes about nature in such a way. Last paragraph. Now, first paragraph, second paragraph, and third paragraph is almost a flashback. Aisa hua tha. It's all in the past tense. And fourth paragraph is in the present tense. You come back to reality. Jaise movies mein hota hai. So in the fourth paragraph, he says, for oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood. Pensive matlab yadein. Going through what happened in life and all that. See how easy the poem becomes when you have the word meanings. When your vocabulary is there, you are able to understand what the poet is saying. They flash upon the inward eye. So he gets an image, a memory of what he has experienced. Which is the bliss of solitude. Because he's alone, he's sad, but that memory brings him joy. He's not depressed anymore. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. A poem that begins with something sad, he's alone, he's wandering aimlessly, but ends with his heart is dancing. So write somewhere the tone, and you can write, there is place here, you can write it here. In tone, it begins with loneliness and wandering aimlessly, but the poem ends on a happy note wherein the poet's heart is dancing due to the memory of the daffodils. Done? Anything not understood? Can you read the poem for the class, please? Avi, can you read?
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over fields and hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Besides the lake ran the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine, and twinkle on the Milky Way. Then start in a never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw at a glance, tossing their heads in the street and dance. The bees beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling leaves in the breeze. A poet could not but be gay in such a so company. I gazed and gazed, but didn't know what will the show to me at all. For all when when on my touch I like how in naked or in pleasure give flash upon that inward eye, which is the peace of soul. Bliss of soul. And then my heart with pleasure fills and love so ever.
Okay, thanks.
What is the name of games and games?
Looked and looked. Continuously. Who will tell me what is the rhyme scheme of this poem? After that, we'll take a break. Firstly, it is written with small letters, don't write with capitals. Anyone who doesn't know how to frame the rhyme scheme of a poem, take this opportunity and understand it today. Anyone who doesn't know, you don't know, I'm glad you're honestly telling me. So you see, when we have a poem like Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Okay? Jill and hill is rhyming. Pail and water is not rhyming. So this will become A, this will become B, C. So the rhyme scheme of this poem is A, B, C. तो अब यहाँ पर क्या होता है? Wandered lonely as a cloud. Something क्या है? क्या है? Hills है. Cloud क्यों बोल रहा है? So नहीं. So I wandered lonely as a cloud, so that I make it A. उसके बाद something hills. It is not matching with crowd, so it becomes B. उसके बाद I have something crowd. Crowd is rhyming with cloud, so it will again become A. उसके बाद I have something daffodils. It is rhyming with hills, so it will become B. Then I have something trees, not matching with crowd or cloud, not matching with hills or daffodils, so it will become C. And then I have something breeze. Breeze is rhyming with trees, so it is C. So मेरा rhyme scheme हो गया A B C. चलो, take out your tiffins.